Hello everyone, welcome to November's course report. It's quite a cold morning on November the 5th. We've had a couple of frosts this month, but on the whole things are looking pretty good out here. It's not been overly wet. We've had a couple of wet days but not too bad. October I think we had 53 mil, average is around 70, so a little bit under average for October, which is good. If you remember last year I think we had about 120, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come this winter. But obviously we're turning the golf course now into winter mode, if you like, so ropes and posts and things like that, so we'll cover that in this course report. And obviously grass growth is still growing, but obviously it is starting to slow down. Normally it's stopped by now, but we've still got a little bit, so we're still out mowing a little bit, and obviously got all our winter works that I'll go through as well. So I hope you enjoyed the report, and obviously if you've got any questions or comments, either ask me when you see me in person or through the office or on the bottom of this post. Okay. So part of the greens report this month, they've been doing really well actually. I'm really pleased with how greens performing for late October, early November. A nice bit of speed about them, good coverage on them. We did have a little outbreak of disease a couple of weeks ago, but we sprayed some fungicide and got rid of them. And we have been reluctant to shut the greens down, but we've had a couple of frosts now, so it's getting to that point where we're going to start hardening the turf up rather than making it grow. So it's definitely switch time. Growth rates are obviously reduced. Pan over to the third, you'll see Tyler rolling the greens. We're doing a lot more rolling now rather than mowing. But on the whole, the greens are really good. We will start to put our turf hardener down now to get them through the winter months. And obviously monitor any disease, which is pretty common this time of year. We did spray our application for leather jackets recently and washed these in. This is probably why we haven't done any aeration work for the last sort of month, but we'll pick them back up, try and get them through the winter. But on the whole, really pleased with the greens. So as everyone pretty much knows by now, the 13th fairway is one of our big projects this year, and although it's growing back nicely and from a distance it actually looks really good, it is struggling. It's been not gone according to plan at all really. Walking down it now, I say it looks nice and green and that, but there are plenty of areas like that where it's quite patchy, and as we get sort of nearer the middle of it, it gets a little bit worse. These will come back in time. The ground is very soft still, and we definitely learnt from this when we move on to different things of what to do slightly a bit different, but it's getting there. Not quite how we wanted to. Like this bit here we're walking on now, it's really quite soft, so when your ball lands on this initially when it reopens, it will be dead. You can't get a big bounce off of this at all, but the bird's still flicking out a little bit as well, so it's getting there. 13th fairway, it's not quite where we wanted it to be. I did expect it to be back open by now, and pretty much growing back in. Things didn't go quite according to plan on this one. Quite a bad bare area there. So what we'll do is probably open this up very soon, allow people to walk over it, you know, buggies, trolleys, that sort of thing. We'll start maintaining it then, so the mowers are going over it as well, to compact it down a little bit more. But it won't be great. There will be areas of G-roll on here. Obviously we've got winter rules on at the minute, which helps, but yeah, not quite how we wanted it to be, not quite how we envisioned. But so plenty of grass coverage on it at the beginning and at the end, but in the middle a bit patchy. But that's the 13th fairway. So I was down on the 14th tee, removal of trees. The old tee had loads of roots on it. Not a lot's changed really on this one from the last month. We started to make the tees a little bit wider. As you can see, this is the white tee here. But over the next week or so, we'll shape these out, put the irrigation in, top them off with different mix before we get the turf in, and then prep the area all around it just for seed. So it's going well, but we haven't done too much on the 14th tee from last month. So a couple more winter projects we've done this year. Obviously we've got the bunkers on the 10th. They're growing in quite nicely, won't be long before they open. Massive plus for the hole in my personal opinion. And obviously we've completely restructured the tees on the 10th, so the ladies have now got a bigger tee. Obviously we've put some steps on that. All the sprinklers are now in, so we're just awaiting the turf, and as we then pan back onto the 10th tee, we've built a new main tee, obviously using sleepers, put some steps on there, and then we've got a back tee as well for use in competitions and external things, etc, etc. So this will all be getting turf soon. This has all gone really well, really pleased how this all looks. All that at the front and the side of the main tee will just be seeded and grassed and left as rough, and the tee top should be looking nice. All we've got to do on this hole now would be to, as you can see here, just in front of the steps, is sort the irrigation valves out, but that can be done at a later date. So 10th tee works, and 10th fairway bunkers all going well and looking really good. So to summarise this month's course report, course doing really well for November. Weather's helped obviously, less than average rainfall. Greens are really good, which I'm really pleased about. A little bit of growth, it is slowing down, but there's still a little bit more out there than normal for a normal November. Winter work's progressing really well. We're turfing the 10th tees this week, and we're getting on with 14th tees and other things. The 13th fairway's a little bit of a disaster. We are trying to make it the best we can. Like I said in the previous video, it's not quite gone according to plan. We didn't quite get the machinery and we wanted to do it, so but we are trying our best to put it back to best we can, and we're definitely going to have to look at different ways before we do any more. But then that's sort of the point, a bit of a learning curve, and to look at what's best way to move forward on the fairways. Other things we're doing, 10th bunkers will be ready to be opened soon. They're growing in quite nicely. We've done quite a lot of work over the driving range as well. Obviously short game area is open as reported last month, but on the whole really quite pleased with the way the course is looking for November, and we're in a nice place going into winter. Things like buggies and nowhere near sort of restrictions at the minute, which is good. We have put rope and posts around some greens, so if you could please keep to those just to help protect the areas around the greens, but on the whole pretty good. Like I say, so that's this month's course report. Any questions, like I said before, ask me in person at the course, or comment on the post, or through the office. Alright then, see you soon, bye bye.